All right, all right. Welcome back to the Street Shaman Podcast. I am your host, Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar, and today I'm here with Juggalette rapper, female Juggalo rapper, Sedussa. Sedussa, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. So, I got you on because I want to talk to you more about the Juggalo scene and about what you're doing and how you're inspired to make this type of music and how you even fell into the Juggalo scene. Um, Basically, what I'm asking is, what is your origin story? Like, how did Sedusa come about?
Oh Lord. Well, whenever I was growing up, we pretty much like my family listened to classic rock and country, so we didn't listen to rap, hip hop, or any of that. So I remember flipping through the radio stations one day, and I heard Snoop Dogg, and I completely fell in love instantly, and I become a huge Snoop fan. So from
Yeah,
there,
with Snoop. With Snoop, what Snoop song? What Snoop?
it was all the way back in like a 1994, 1995 album. It was a song called Wolf.
Okay, okay,
And like really dope. And then
okay,
from there, it was from Snoop and NWA and Bone Thugs and Harmony and Tupac and Biggie and Boys the Men and all that good shit. And then eventually, you start listening to Afro Man, which is a little bit more, kind of underground scene. And then here come ICP. Then once I heard
okay.
ICP, like, holy crap, this is awesome. And yeah, that kind of started the whole underground scene. So,
So there
from
wasn't. Sorry to cut you off, Sedusa. Is there what there wasn't other people around you that was listening to ICP? You were listening to ICP like solo, or was it like at least a group of friends around you?
no, I kind of found ICP myself, and then I kind of shared it with my friends, and some of it, some of them took off with it, and some of them didn't.
Right.
Um, Back then, it was bumping the song Cherry Pie a lot and Fuck the World. Those was the two that we bumped the most then. And then two of my still favorites now is My Axe and then I Don't Care with, Twisted, because I got a big Twisted tat. Twisted's my fave.
Okay. Yeah, I did a couple shows with Twisted before. Have you ever did any shows with anybody in the Juggalo scene?
Nope, I'm
What was that? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
not done any shows yet.
You haven't done any shows yet? Seduce, you haven't done any shows?
Nope, I just started putting out music in May of last year. And
Oh, so you started putting out music when the pandemic already happened. So what made you just decide to start making music, or were you making music before the pandemic and maybe you were like a little like half stepping, or maybe a lot of things were getting in the way, and then once the pandemic happened and lockdown happened, uh you decided, fuck this, let's go balls to the wall, let me put out some music, let me just do what I want to do because the world is shit anyway and I'm over here waiting or hoping to be good later. Was that your experience?
I actually had started out as the name Reagan Blair first. That was my horrorcore name. Everything that I was doing was on BandLab, so I recorded everything on my phone. And then I decided I wanted to get more serious, so I bought the mic and the phantom power and all that. And then I built a walk-in recording booth in my bedroom out of PVC pipe and moving blankets.
Okay, okay.
I wasn't really feeling the name Reagan Blair as far as, something I wanted to stick with permanently. So I wanted to come up with something that was like a sexier, like darker version of Greek mythology. I love
Right.
Greek mythology. So the first thing I think of is Medusa, and then when you
Medusa.
like a more sexy version, the seduce comes in your head, and then pow, Sedusa was born. And as soon as I thought of the name, I completely fell in love with it. And I'm like, this is going to be my forever rap name. And then I decided to get serious and started recording in the booth and stuff on my phone. And
On your phone. Wait a minute. On your phone. You can't just graze over that. You said on your phone. So you just, what kind of phone you got? Like an iPhone or like an Android?
Android,
What kind of program were you using on your phone to record?
BandLab.
Okay, BandLab. Yeah, I work with Band. I do my mastering on BandLab, so I know.
Yeah,
So you
that's
started on BandLab. Go ahead, tell me.
I did a few tracks. I didn't even put anything out. I don't think, I think I put out one track and eventually I ended up pulling it down whenever I decided to switch. Now I have a homie, Wicked Death Lord. He still records on BandLab, and he hits me up every now and then, and I'll do a feature with him. I'll still, with people that's bumping your stuff hardcore, if they come at me and want me to do a feature on BandLab, I'll jump on it and I'll do one anyway. So
Okay.
I still every now and then.
Okay, because like BandLab, for people that don't know or they never heard of it, BandLab is basically like a social media for artists. You could it's like a SoundCloud, but you can put up your stuff. They have things for free too. They'll master your stuff for free. And then people can also collab and talk to each other and say, oh, I like that song, do a song with me. And it's basically or mainly just people making music just for the sake of making music, just for the sake of being creative. It's not really for like business wise or profitable gain, right?
Yeah. It's a nice way to get started if you're wanting to get your foot in the door on recording, or you can make your own beats on there too, or you can use beats. There's different things that you can do.
Right.
It's definitely a good starter tool if you want to start to make music and you really don't know where to start.
Right. Definitely. I know it helped me out. I actually did my mastering for the last Potent the Rockstar single that I released, Heal This Pain. I did it through BandLab. Excuse me. Something in my throat. So Snoop Dogg and ICP is where you listen to rap from Snoop. Then you went to ICP where you fell into the Juggalo scene, and you're telling me nobody else around you was into this shit. It was just you. So what about it drew you in? I know you said it was dope. You loved it. Was it like the clown makeup, the horror like scene? What was it?
All of it. Yeah, it was definitely different because, you don't see artists with their face painted, when you're listening to mainstream music. They don't
Especially
have
rap.
So, yeah.
Especially rap.
Clown face, it was really awesome, and I'm also a huge fan of horror. I love horror movies. So the horrorcore genre, that's what really that stuck me in because I like scary movies. I used to sit down and write scary poems and stuff like that. And then once you realize that the Juggalos and Juggalettes are the absolute best fan base that you could ever ask for, I mean, that's I decided that was going to be my lane.
Oh, I feel you. So for the people that are listening and don't really know about the Juggalo scene, what is it about the Juggalo events, shows, the gathering? What is it about that draws you towards it? And like you said, the fans are the best fans, the most diehard type fans. So what is it about that draws you in outside of that?
Well, if nobody's ever been to an underground Juggalo show, I highly encourage them to go because all the people that are going are mostly Juggalos and Juggalettes. And the best thing about them is they always scream family, and that's what they are. They're one giant family. You will walk up in that concert not knowing anybody, but by the time you leave, you're going to feel like you know everybody. Everybody's cool. You got all your smokers, got doobies going around, and people's like, hey, you want to hit this? Everybody's just chill. You'll get there hour, 2 hours early, and you'll just have some of the best conversations, and people's just pumped and excited and ready for the mosh pit that's coming later. I mean, all the Juggalo shows got to have that mosh pit.
Right. Yeah, that's one of those things, before I knew about Juggalo shows or ever been to one, I knew a couple people that were Juggalos, but I dismissed it. I didn't understand what it was. I'm a city cat, and in the city, especially Jersey City, New York City, in that area, there's very little Juggalos. There might be some people that like ICP, but they're not really Juggalos per se. So being on tour was the first time that I ever witnessed or came in encounter with any Juggalo shows. And on my way there, the people that I was on the tour with were not Juggalos. We all weren't Juggalos at the time. So we're going to this show having a preconceived notion of what we think Juggalos might be. We're thinking, people, these guys are going to be assholes. These guys are going to do some bullshit. These guys, whatever. So I honestly didn't have the preconceived notions because I was living a life like open as possible. Now I think I have way more preconceived notions based on facts, but at the time I didn't. So I went in there like, whatever, let's just see how this goes. Meanwhile, everybody else on the tour that I was with, we were like joining a show with basically Juggalos. So it's like 5 bands that are doing like screamo rap, crunkcore type shit, going into a Juggalo scene for a show. And I thought it was amazing. Everybody that I was with just hated it. They these people are talking shit. But for me, I felt like we were one and the same in that regard. Like we were all like underground rappers, all trying to do something different and weird. The only difference was the Juggalos had a place, they had a home, they had already an established crew of people or family that would listen to this shit and would take you seriously if you're really putting yourself out seriously. Whereas in other scenes, they really didn't take you seriously unless you're putting like thousands and thousands of dollars into it.
Yeah, that's right? Another thing I really love so much is I don't have like all the professional equipment. Like literally I use Audacity. I go into my recording studio, I hook up my laptop and I record from my mic into my phantom power, like into my laptop. It's all hooked together. So you don't have to have like the best of the best quality music either. And right. They will fuck with you hardcore. And I absolutely love that. Right. It's a great sense of community. Everybody wants to share with each other. Everybody wants to look out for each other. I remember doing the show with Twisted. It's going on 1.5 years now. Every Day is Halloween tour. I did a few shows with them, and everybody just, they were cool, they were fun. Even when I was on stage, the people didn't know who I was, so they heckled me. I'm not going on stage with makeup, at least not for those shows I didn't. So they just looked at me like, who the fuck is this guy? So they're like, show me your butthole. You know what I mean? I'm like, you want to see my nipple? Because that's what I heard. And they're like, no, your butthole. And I'm like, nah, I can't show you my, I made it funny, whatever at the time. And everybody laughed. It was a good time. It was like, here I am in a room full of 500, 600, 700 people. And even in St. Louis, we did 1,300 it is. And everybody was showing me love. And if they didn't like it, they didn't hate it. You get what I'm saying? It's like, if they ain't fucking with it, they don't know what it is. They're not going to sit there and rag on you. They'll just let you be, do your thing, whatever. So I appreciated that, especially like for artists coming up, to be able to, that they still give those opportunities and let people get on and perform and shit. I think that's fly. I think that's dope. You got to get on a fucking show, girl. I know. That's one thing that would make me nervous too, is knowing that I'm in front of a bunch of the Juggalos and Juggalettes.
Oh, you'll be fine.
And just regular fan base.
Nah, you'll be fine. You just whoop whoop and everybody whoop whoop back, and then you do your thing. So, and people show love. But what's going on in Kentucky? How's the lockdown over there?
Oh, it's successful. I've got 3 kids that I've been homeschooling since March of last year. So they just now got to the point where they're going 2 days a week, and then we had 2 ice storms back to back that completely shut us down again. Luckily, we only lost power for about 2 hours one night. That was about it. And a bunch of the town's been out for way longer than that. Definitely different for the kids now. We didn't have the opportunity to do online school when we were younger, which I'm sure a lot of us would have preferred to do it that way. But yeah, it's definitely been different as a challenge. Like my middle daughter just hit middle school this year, and she just now finally got to walk into the school for the first time a couple weeks ago. So it makes it stressful. They're breaking it up to where like the first half of the alphabet with the last name goes 2 days, and then the other second group, they go a different 2 days. And one of my kids, like both of my girls are in band, and they both play the clarinet. My middle daughter, when she goes to school, she's the only clarinet in the band room, because all the rest of them go on the other days. So she was actually about to quit band because it was too stressful for her to be the only clarinet in the middle of all these other instruments. So they come out that on the 8th, I think they're going to start going back 5 days a week. So she's going to keep band, and we'll see how that goes. We can get
Okay.
to summer break.
Okay. So you're doing the music in between them actually going to school and not like, what is that like for you to even go in and try to record some shit? Like, I know you did some shit with Kung Fu Vampire recently and shit, which was pretty dope. What was that like for you, knowing that you had to take them to school, do the song?
I think they were still completely straight on quarantine then. You know, then I would get a hold of my mom. If I had a lot of stuff, go ahead and write a couple tracks and get them ready to record and get a hold of my mom and be like, hey, I really need to record this stuff. And she'd take the kids for a night so I could jump in and knock it out. And I literally just stay up all night recording and making sure everything was good and sending it over to be mixed.
Okay. Okay. So, but what was it like working with Kung Fu Vampire? Did he like help you with the song? Did he help you promote it? What did he do? Did he just do a verse with you or what?
Whenever stuff comes out, you know, they're pretty good about reposting it, or you put it on the story and they'll repost it, or, you know, anytime I put it in my story and tag them, a lot of times they'll repost it. So it was really cool. Lex the Hexmaster is probably one of my favorite people to work with.
Okay.
I have done tracks with him and actually got some more stuff in the works. So, like, one of the main people that I have to really give a shout out to for Sedussa being able to get her music out is Six Side. If it wasn't for Six Side, I could not have done anything, because out of every track that I have out, I got 3 tracks that's about to drop. I got one dropping tomorrow, another one dropping on the 6th, and then I'll have another one dropping soon as well. Every single one of my beats, except for my very first track, Late Night Murders, that's a Sutter Kane beat. But every other beat that I've used is a Six Side beat. He mixes all my vocals. He's given me so much helpful information.
Okay.
And I have a fam appreciation track coming out. It's called For the Fam, because, you know, I love the Juggalos and Juggalettes. And I got him on the track, and I've got him on Bitch You Better Run. And then he's got me on Nightmares and Bloody Christmas. That one's freaking dope. Like, I went completely the whole time. So now, Six Side is doing a remix of I Got 5 on it. And me and Lex the Hexmaster are part of that track as well. So that's some exciting stuff that'll be coming out in April. Basically, me and Six Side plan on taking completely over April. Happy for a 20 puff pass. We're taking over April.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I ain't got nothing for April. I ain't got right at this moment. I ain't got no 420 songs. I don't even be thinking about 420 songs. But that's just me. I'm weird. I think about other shit and then I try to make it cool. Like I take a weird ass idea and then I just try to fit it in a cool peg. You know what I mean? Like I'm a weirdo. But back to you. So have you ever been to you've been to Juggalo shows, obviously, because you talked about the Juggalo community. So what was like, have you been to the gathering? What was the craziest show for you? What was the crazy experience?
Well, unfortunately, no, I have not been to a gathering.
Gathering, no.
Yeah. They've kind of increased it now from 2 days to 4 days, and I'm lucky to get, you know, one night away from my kids. Like, multiple nights is usually, like, never going to happen. I will get to that eventually before they stop having those. I have to. That's like one experience that I think every Juggalo and Juggalette should be able to do, and a lot of them have, like almost all 20 times. But me, I haven't made it yet. Now, before quarantine hit, I went to 3 Twisted shows in 1 year and 1 Tech 9 show. And those are absolutely badass. But if you're talking about one of the craziest shows I've ever tuned to, that's going to be Marilyn Manson. It don't get no freaking crazier than Marilyn Manson. Like
Marilyn, of course. So what about the show was crazy? Was it his performance on the stage and all the crazy antics he had, or was it like the crowd's reaction, or was it both?
It's everything, because the first time I seen him, it was with Smashing Pumpkins, and the second time I seen him was with Slipknot. So absolutely awesome. But when you're driving up to go into it, there is like hundreds of protesters outside holding signs saying, you know, you have a choice, like, you know, a bunch of, like, I guess people against Marilyn Manson, or a bunch of Christians, you know, out there holding signs not wanting you to go in there. So there's that whole atmosphere just trying to get in. But he took a bottle and broke it, cut himself, and smeared it on a tambourine and throws it in the audience. And then he gets up on the stilts for the Sweet Dreams, and he is so fucked up out of his mind. He started screwing up some of the words to Dope Show, and I was like, damn. So yeah, it was wild because I remember like he actually opened for Smashing Pumpkins. Smashing Pumpkins was the headliner, which out of the two I thought was kind of strange. So Marilyn Manson took way more time than he was supposed to on his set, to the point that when Smashing Pumpkins come out, they had to do like 5 or 6 songs. That was it. That's all they got. So they had to pull out, all their top bangers right off the rip. And then, like, I swear it's like they hadn't been on long at all. And he was like, this is our final song. And some of their fans was like, boo. And, he was like, well, we don't break the rules like Mr. Manson does. I'm like, motherfucker, he's still backstage somewhere. You might want to shut up. He's going to come out and beat your ass.
No, I feel you. He probably had to leave early, or he probably was salty that they gave him the second slot. So he said, fuck you, I'm just going to keep going. You're not going to be able to kick me off, which is hilarious. But, what was it? What did you say? Who was headlining?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, well, Smashing Pumpkins have way more of a, like, popular fan base than Marilyn. Marilyn has the cult following, so does Smash, but Smashing Pumpkins have, like, way more songs.
They didn't get a...
That's...
They didn't. The second time I seen Marilyn Manson was twice as badass because, the Slipknot was there. Slipknot was the headliner for that one. And I always tell people, like, if you have not seen Slipknot, like, oh my God, you have got to go see Slipknot. And Corn, too. Corn's bad. I've seen Corn with Rob Zombie and In This Moment, and, like, all three of them were absolutely fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen those bands live at all. I'm not really super into, like, the horror bands or, like, the new metal bands. Like most of the people that are juggalos as well, they listen to, like, new metal and shit. Mm-hmm. I'm not really into that shit. So I haven't seen them, but I do want to see them. It's not like I'm hating. You know what I mean? If I get the opportunity, they're around, boom, I'm going. But it's not like I'm also looking for those. Anywho, that sounds crazy. I wouldn't want nobody throwing their blood at me. Fuck all that shit. You're throwing your blood at me. What the fuck you mean? Like, you just throwing your blood out here? Just, dog, I don't know what you got, who you been fucking in the ass, who you let fucking your ass. Like, I don't know what's going on. You out here just throwing some blood? Like, come on, dog. What you doing? You liked it, though. You liked it. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. So what's your favorite horror movie franchise? Because I know you said that you liked horror, obviously, Juggalette. I think that's part of the thingy. So what is your favorite horror franchise?
Halloween.
Yeah,
but I'm definitely, like, huge fan of the Rob Zombie Halloween. Like, Rob Zombie.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Like, all Rob Zombie movies are the shit. So the Halloween movies, that little boy that played, like, oh my God, those are like some of the dopest movies ever. And then there's a movie called Terrifier. I don't know if anybody's seen that with the crazy ass clown, but if nobody has seen Terrifier, holy shit, go watch that movie.
Terrified? I didn't see that one. I got a couple Rob Zombies there. A couple Rob Zombie movies there that
Now that one's completely off topic because Terrifier is not a Rob Zombie movie, but it just popped in my head. One really
okay. Movie. Okay, because that threw me off. I'm like, I have like a few of them there. Did I miss Terrifier? When did that come out? Either I watch them or I keep them, or you know what I mean. Like sometimes I just, if I know it's out, I'm gonna make sure to watch. You know, like me and my girl, we both love horror shit, so we just sit there and watch horror movies. Sometimes like we'll just watch 2 back to back and be like, whatever. But anyway, so what songs you got coming in the works? Like, what are you working on? What's in the future? Because I know you got something coming right now. Like, don't you got a song coming like tomorrow or some shit?
It drops at midnight. That one's called Now Disobey. Now, people's probably going to think it's Bisobey, but it's not. It's actually Nowdisohbae. It's kind of like a play on words. But yeah, that one drops at midnight. And I've already since we were doing this today, I've already put a lyric video up on my YouTube. So technically the track don't drop till midnight, but for anybody that's watching this, they can see, you can go to The Real Sedussa on YouTube and it's already up and you can go ahead and hear it early.
Okay. So what was the reason for you putting it out early and you having it out on Friday? Are you doing it according to like Spotify standards where you're trying to get on certain playlists early, or what is that about?
No, like it's gonna be on all those platforms at midnight, like Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon. It'll be on all those at midnight. So since we was doing a podcast, I would figure, whoever was up in here to catch this, if they wanted to go ahead and go to my YouTube and check it out, I've already got it uploaded on my YouTube a day early.
Okay, what's your YouTube? How do you find it? How do you find YouTube?
On YouTube. A lot of times now, type in Sedussa and all my stuff will pop up. But if it doesn't, it's The Real Sedussa on everything: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Okay. So that song doesn't feature anybody. Don't you got something that's coming that's featuring some people?
I got one coming that's featuring Six Side. That's the For the Fam track. It's called For the Fam. That one, honestly, I set it to come out on March 4th, and then I edited it to see if I could have it come out March 6th. But right now, everything is still saying the 4th. Both those tracks are like, you can go on Amazon and pre-order both of them now. Then I have a third track. It's called HS and WTF. It stands for Holy Shit and What the Fuck. And out of the three, that's my favorite. I have literally played this bitch on repeat probably 10 times a day, every freaking day since I got this back. So basically, I'm just waiting for a cover art for that. And then once I get a cover art for it, 15 days later, that bitch will be available to the public. I'm really excited.
Okay, that's what's up. So I know you haven't done any shows, but I'm sure you're trying to get on the stage and do some shows. How confident do you feel that the underground rap scene and the Juggalo family will be back in full effect once this lockdown like goes back to normal or whatever? I don't know if it's gonna ever be normal. How do you feel? Do you feel confident?
It's ever been. Because, the great thing about Juggalo shows is it don't cost a lot to go see one. Your tickets might be anywhere from $10 to $20, $25, depending on who you go to see. I think Tech9 was $30. So the tickets are really cheap.
Right.
The whole, fan base that's there is a whole great experience as well. And like I said, a couple years ago now, I guess because it's COVID, I've seen Twisted 3 times. I've seen Tech9 as well, all within the same year. So I know as soon as they open these doors, my ass is going to find every single Juggalo show that I can find in my surrounding area, and I will hit them all up. I'm going to hit them all.
All right. But no doubt. Do you think that the small venues, because now that a lot of things are closed down, I'm sure Kentucky's probably going to be fine because things are a little bit cheaper out there. But some places like Chicago, I feel like there's going to be some venues that are going to be closed for good. And those are going to be the venues that Juggalos and underground rap really thrive in. Excuse me. So that's my worry. My worry is that we're gonna come back to a world where we're gonna have the scenes and the cultures and the music of, or the subcultures for that matter, of certain themes, certain music styles, but we won't be able to have the venues, or the venues will be far and few in between. There won't be as many venues. You know what I mean? So
hopefully they will have more outside venues. Like every time that I went and seen like Marilyn Manson and Slipknot and all them, I went to Riverbend in Ohio. So it literally sits right on the river, and it's a huge open venue outside.
It's like it's a pavilion. Yeah, pavilion like on the river. They've been making a lot of those. That'd be dope if they do that. The problem that I'm having there is if everybody could afford it, because when it comes to touring, there's certain expenses for certain stages like that and certain venues like that, and you have to reach a certain capacity. So I'm just worried that, we won't have those shows like we did before, or those venues where we can get into those hole in the walls. And I also seen people that made their living room a venue. There's people out in Buffalo that hit me up. They're like, "Yo, you want to use my living room?" They do Juggalo shows in their living room. They got a pretty big living room, and they do Juggalo shows for like $150. This is hush hush. No one's gonna know, because by the time any feds are gonna do research, they don't know who the fuck I'm talking about. But this is the type of shit that people are doing, because the scenes are gonna wither away if these smaller venues aren't gonna stay open. I already know, like, one of my local venues around the way, he sold it. It wasn't a great venue to begin with, but he sold his fucking venue during the pandemic because he's not sure. So that kind of worries me a little bit. Obviously, you're not worried. You want to get back out there.
Give me an open field somewhere. We'll make it happen. That's all I know. Find somebody with one of them plug-ins. You just plug it in and get loud right there in the middle of a field. People will make it happen.
Right. Like, that's the route that I'm gonna take eventually. Once I go back to doing shows, it'll be just getting my own PA system, my own setup, so that way I could just pack it up and go wherever the fuck I need to go. And if I need to get a little $30 permit at a certain town to perform at the park or whatever, I can, or a skate park or whatever the fuck. Because, like, I don't honestly think, like, I don't have any confidence and any reason to believe that they're gonna do anything for the underground scene once everything gets back together, because everything that they're doing is for, like, corporate gain. You get what I'm saying? So that kind of worries me. But yeah, we can end it here, but I wanna see if I got another question for you. Let me look at my questions. Let me do my question. I think I got everything. Got everything, girl. All right, we good. If anybody got a question in the chat, y'all can leave it now. For me or for Sedussa about the Juggalo scene.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. So let's see what's up here. No questions. Nobody got no questions. You're not fast enough. Yeah, I don't care. It's cool. Sedussa, appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. We'll talk some more. We'll get, once life happens, we'll have more experiences. We'll get to talk some more. Appreciate you coming through. Thanks to everybody that's paying attention, everybody in the chat. Maria, I know y'all care. I'm just fucking with you. Maria. Thank you for your time and attention. Appreciate y'all. This is Shamanic Poe. This is Sedussa. This is the Street Shaman Podcast. And we out here. Love y'all. Take care.